Oh, there we go. Yeah, sorry. And this frickin' dude, this frickin' PlayStation. I installed like the PlayStation accessories, but now it's fucking up my my Steam binds. Like the Steam layout doesn't work anymore.
Sheed, what up? Wait, what is your favorite characters?
I like Revenant a lot.
I like
and Recluse. And Guardian. Apparently they buffed Guardian.
They buffed him like crazy. And Recluse.
The mics are a bit quiet. Okay, hold on. Let me... Sorry. Okay, it should be better now.
Yo,
So,
nice skins.
how many runs have you done in depth 2, Ella?
Well, 2, but they both failed.
Oh, okay. So, are we depth 1 or 2? Because you're the leader? Is it 2?
It should be 1. Because it's the one that has like the lowest one or something.
Gotcha.
I believe. We have a little dude over there. A little church. Yeah, the lowest player apparently.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, it shows on the map. Bottom left you can see.
This feels so weird to play. Playing Silksong.
Yeah, I can imagine. To be honest, this new patch really starts when you hit like layer 2. That's when it gets dank.
Is it different in depth 1, do you think?
I think there is some. Yeah, there can be red bosses spawning and stuff.
Okay.
But it's not enhanced boss versions or anything. It's all easy stuff. We have the one in the water. Or we're gonna do this one first, I guess?
Yeah, we can do the camp and then hit the Everjail.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh, there's a red guy here.
I'm going for the balls. Surely I'm not washing up at all.
Yeah, get him this.
Oh, he actually drops stuff.
Oh, gangbang.
Ooh.
Oh, it's Libra.
Oh, hell yeah. Best fight.
Did you do the Everdark Libra, Ella?
I did, yeah, I did.
Yeah, that one was... I liked it,
was
actually.
fun. Yeah, I liked it. It was so chaotic.
It's a good challenge.
Yeah.
Just can you take the last one?
Oh, I do so little damage.
Same.
I'm dead.
It's all good. So this ultimate, if you hold it, we become invulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have like the relic that makes it heal you.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's why I got healed, right? Damn, the damage.
God, I gotta turn down the game sound. I'm like going deaf here. Holy shit.
Ow. I'm gonna YOLO. I'm fine. Alright. Nice.
This is like the longest Crucible night fight I've ever done.
I like
Holy.
it. I like it. Okay, we go mid. Wait, is there a bug in here? No? Yeah, he is. I'm gonna grab this.
Gotcha.
I'll bring it to you if it's something good.
You can go kill the hippo, Lepa.
Okay.
Skill attack power. Cool.
Ta-da. I was behind you. How did you get it? Wow! Oh!
The double repose.
Oh, nice.
Good stuff. Yahoo! 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 Yahoo!
Man, I gotta figure out. Normally, I have my mic mute. I don't want to be like yapping on their streams constantly. I have my mic mute bound to my
where do we go?
controller, but it's not working because I installed that thing. Let's go to the castle. I think.
Yeah, yeah, I like castle. Yeah, castle's cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
Oh yeah, we got Crater too. That's nice.
Yeah, Crater is cool. I like Crater. Haven't got the ice mountain a single time today.
I'm not a big fan of the Ice Mountain.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's scary.
Oh, the boy. I'm going in. I'm dead. I'm alive.
It's gonna be fun.
Oh, jellyfish shield.
Bark! 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 Oh my
Oh
god!
god.
I just got drilled!
This is okay, we gotta leave. We're gonna leave.
I'm
call-
no fucking.
Let's not throw this run
pussies.
completely. Let's go upstairs.
That is that's the boy right there.
Dude, I'm doing like 70 damage with my R1. What the fuck?
Oh fuck, it's trolls.
Trolls is easy though, right?
But it's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Okay, Miyazaki, where's my riposte? Yes, I love when the other troll hits me from across the map.
Hi. More trolls?
We don't need it. Yeah, I guess we just murder some trolls and shit.
Yeah. The day one strat.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing like negative fucking DPS right now, Chad. Yeah, Kurgo. I could drop it though, if it's an issue.
Oh, great.
Are you chilling?
I was killing the other one.
I found a great. So I could choose between a great shield for you. This. Do you have a good one?
I just got one that's decent with like
Okay.
resistances.
I'm gonna take 10% more runes then.
If you find anything with guard counters, pretty good
Okay,
though.
Well, watch out.
Oh, the claymore. My.
I'm fucking
Precious.
trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we can kill the lion? Oh, maybe not.
No, we can kill the lion easily.
Oh, do you know about the like triple chest in the castle?
Triple chest.
Yeah, I can show you. Follow me.
Huh? Where are we going?
Secrets.
Oh, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
cool.
A lot of the time the loot kind of sucks, but it's
There's some armaments and stuff.
yeah. That's nice.
Oh, it's a smithing stone. Hmm. Don't
I
need
think we got
this.
every
I got-
troll, right?
Yeah.
If there's any others.
Yeah. We could, yeah, I guess we just kill some random stuff.
Yeah. I feel like I just get stun locked by the loot even more now that there's three.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah. I gotta level up.
Damn it. I didn't level up. Please. Please. I can make it, right?
I'm just trying to eat my damn
Yeah, you should be
food.
fine. Dude, everything is so tanky. Holy shit.
Yep.
I feel like they just have insane negation or something.
Yeah, and it just gets worse and worse.
Maybe I should not play Guardian.
That's alright.
He's okay.
Lepa soy howling.
I think all the enemies are like stuck out of the swarm now.
Yeah, I tried to free him with the yelp, but
We have to kill them
Oh.
for the boss to
Gotta
spawn.
get
Or actually,
wolves?
maybe after like a specific amount of time, it'll just spawn automatically. I'm not sure.
Come in here.
He's like stuck.
Dude, he's like, yeah, what the hell? They're like invisible wall.
Yeah, I'll ult.
nice. You can probably bring him here, right?
All right, well, that worked. Oh, nice, comfy. Oh, this guy. First time I fight him today. The variety.
Nice. Do any of you guys have a stone sword key?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Do we even want to do that? Maybe let's go to like the top of the castle and then go
Yeah, I
crater.
say we go top. I mean, we could go bottom.
I don't
Also.
even. I think that's gonna take like half the day.
But
Yeah,
it could be legendary drop.
it could. No, we could go top and murder, and then we go north into the crater or something.
Yeah, sounds good.
Ooh. What is up top?
Boss man.
Big
Yeah,
boss.
but which one? Which one? Which one?
I don't know. It's random.
Oh, I thought you saw it earlier or something. I don't know.
No, I never went up top.
Magma, wait a minute.
Dude,
Yay.
I do such little damage. Like 95. Fucking useless.
Oh, I love this fight, especially on this roof. I got it.
Everything is so tanky. Holy shit, man.
Yep. It is.
I can't even imagine what it's like on the later steps.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't won a single game on the second one yet, but they've been bad games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wow, it's trash. Amazing.
Death's Poker. Yay. Which is really not that much better than the Claymore. That's... Yeah.
Volcano?
Yeah.
Yep. Do we kill the gargoyle
Cool.
inside the volcano? Like that guy?
Yeah, I'm down. We could
I
try.
feel like he's kind of easy. Yeah.
Circle hasn't closed yet, so good.
Yeah, we're chilling. We're chilling hard. Oh, yes, Frost, right. Oh, yeah, I'll slide into the lava, I guess.
What?
Oh, okay.
Lepa,
shit.
help!
I got you.
There's nothing I can do
Ella,
here.
you should probably get him away from that.
Yeah,
area.
I'm trying to get over here. Alright, I'm chilling. I'm pulling him back to the big area in the middle. Yeah.
Maybe, dude, it's gonna be another magma worm at the bottom of the crater too.
Yeah, maybe we should rush for that.
No,
Or we move this guy.
we got this. We got this. Just need
Yeah,
to
that's
actually
true.
hit him.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep, going well.
We got
Oh,
this.
nice, nice.
yeah, this is fine. This is fine. It's all good. This is completely fine.
We got this. Oh, I missed.
Okay,
right?
yeah, I love when he
Right.
jumps back all the time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yes! Yes! Jump more! Oh my god.
Hoppa. Oh, yes, Mr. Gargoyle.
Please stand
Jump.
more in
Please
the lava.
jump more. Jump, jump, quickly. Jump!
I hope he
Oh,
jumps
what are you
in.
doing?
It's so fun.
All right, we're doing good. Nice.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Okay, nice. I swear if he jumps now. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Good job.
Another Death's Poker. Okay. Hmm.
I am going to dual wield.
Oh yeah, honestly, I would take one of those death pokers. If you want,
Oh,
I can
yeah?
spam it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of course.
Pretty good.
Do we drop down? We drop down?
I'm gonna get the church and then.
Oh
we
yeah,
can
I
drop down.
forgot. Church. kill these, yeah?
Yeah. We should have time.
Neat. Oh, legendary? Oh, wait. I have Axe of Godfrey. Does anyone want that?
No.
Oh.
Colossal weapon. I'll take the other
Not
stuff
bad.
then. It's not. I just don't want to use it. Whoa, cool. Oh. Apparently there was a 40% damage reduction on it, but I didn't see.
Damn.
Who needs that? Who needs that?
Yeah, just dodge.
I didn't pick it, by the way. I felt like 10% more poison damage would be better. It's fine. This is depth 1. We can't lose anyways.
Surely.
Yeah, imagine being so bad that you die in depth 1.
Imagine. Oh. Do you want this one? It's this shield.
Oh, yeah.
This.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I got resist up on my shield if anyone wants it.
That. Yeah, I could use that.
It's alright since we're on
Sick.
Libra.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh my god, I can't. There we go. Tee. Surely we have time to kill this one down here, right? Yep.
Hopefully.
I believe. We got Death's Poker and fire damage.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people drop early to the right here. Is that what you're doing now, Dist?
I think I jumped too early.
Are you okay down there? Yeah. You drop like somewhere.
That's like
Did that
around
work?
there. Yeah, yeah, it's fine. It's pretty.
Oh,
like
yeah, oh,
you'll,
yeah,
you'll
that's
see,
super
it's
fine,
pretty
yeah.
safe. Yeah.
That was super easy. Hell yeah, it's good damage. Death's Poker represent.
Yeah, it's so good.
Damn, this is crazy damage, actually.
I'm out of mana now.
He's getting super bullied. Oh my god. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll rest. It's fine.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, that was a clean fast kill.
Amazing. Oh, look, a bow and a
I got
candle stand.
I got Loretta's
Oh.
war sickle if you want that halberd disc.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I guess I'll do Libra with Death's Poker Legendary.
Yeah, I don't know
Or-
what I should upgrade.
Claymore with Giant Hunt?
I think he's weakest to Holy, right?
Yeah, and Frenzy.
Yeah.
I think I'll just upgrade my Claymore, to be honest. I think it'll be better versus him. Also, Claymore is the best weapon ever made ever. So, based. Oh, it's Holy and Fire. Okay.
Is the game sound okay, by the way, chat? Or do I need to turn it up a bit? It's good. Okay.
Why am I going down? Help.
Can we go left side?
Yeah, we can kill Maggie. We can try to kill the red wolf above. It.
Oh, yeah. Easy peasy.
I don't know if we'll be able to, but okay.
Yep. I'm just giant hunting. Nice, we kill Red Wolf.
Yeah, I'm on him.
Umve. Incoming!
Nice. There no grace from this? What the?
Nah, we're chilling.
Yeah, it's just normally you can level up after you kill Maggie.
There is a grace on the map, but yeah.
Oh. Huh. Can see it.
Who's this? Is it Nameless King? It's gonna be Nameless King, right?
If it's a dragon, there's no dragon though.
Oh.
Krusibel.
Bully him.
Oh hell yeah, face tanking. So nice.
The wolf like perma-stunned him. So fun.
Hippotopolis! I'm hippoing.
Thank you. You good?
It's alright. He should stagger soon. Yep. Face equals tank? Yep. Yep.
Wow. That was easy.
Yeah, it was very easy.
Yeah. What's up,
Plus
Pontus?
75 all resistances. Wow. Oh boy.
We have Libra, so it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You had a key?
Yeah,
Aw.
it's okay.
Is any one of y'all playing Borderlands 4?
I was thinking about like maybe checking it out. I don't know. I used to be really big into like I played 1 and 2 a lot. Actually,
Oh,
had a
nice.
lot of fun with those, but I think I played 3 for like an hour and then that
Oh,
was it.
blushed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the reviews are mostly negative, I think, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a case of like performance
Oops,
again.
misclick.
Yeah, I think it's performance stuff.
Do I have to choose anything?
No.
No,
Good.
I'm not sure
Just
which
refuse.
ones. Like resistances is worth it. You only lose 10% stam. He gives you that offer.
Oh, cool.
Oops.
What is he, weak against fire and lightning? I got fire grace.
Fire and holy.
Holy, right.
I think he's weakest to holy.
Okay, buddy. Wolf versus goat. Let's go. Stop ignoring me!
Hey, I'm staggered already. Oh, double repose!
Oh, nice.
Oh. Oh yeah, we can ult through this if you want to, right? No reason on the first one.
Yeah.
I can use ult next time he does the thing. Well, if I have ult, that is. I don't yet. Oh, I don't have ult yet, so I can't do it.
Might be able to break them all. Oh, there's one in there.
What about the one up there?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Rip.
I mean, I have my ult for the next one. I mean, just collect balls here and it's fine.
Yeah.
Oopsie. Again? Oh my god.
God damn it, man.
Yikes, my health just disappeared. Ah!
Going fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of chilling a bit. I can never get an attack in. Oh, he's doing the balls.
Oh.
Give me balls. Oh, fuck.
Fuck, it was too far.
We're gonna wipe.
No, we're okay. We're okay.
Okay, we're
Are
fine.
you out of heals? Oh shit.
I am out of heals. I have
Okay.
ult, so I can rest here. Do I need to use it, Lip Up? We're not wiping on upgraded. Oh shit! I don't know if I should ult or not. No, I'll wait until he buffs. I'll wait until he buffs.
All right. Yeah, there it goes.
I'll use it. I'll use it.
Nice. I can ult soon.
Okay.
Heal you. I'm ulting.
Fuck.
And face tank.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, that's a good heal. Yes! 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 Oh, I'm not getting hit by that. No. I can res Lepa. I can res him.
Got him.
You can res him. Oh, he's staggered. Oh, he's dead. Base equals tank.
Nice.
Woo!
Kind of close there, huh?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. 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 Very nice.
Thanks for the carry.
Very nice. The legendary Claymore. Ooh.
+4 magic attack up? That's crazy.
You can equip 3 more of these things now, by the way. Cursed
Yeah.
ones.
Ooh. I have got one for Guardian. Actually, that's pretty good.
Nice. Oh.
The new effect, chat. Touched by the deep of night, vessels' depths are now revealed. They can be placed on a newly revealed location upon each vessel. Power will only take effect in the deep of night. Art gauge charged from guarding. Attack power up against frostbite. Character skill boost damage negation. Like, that's pretty good. Bloodborne aromatic in possession. I mean, we might as well just equip something. Taking damage causes frost buildup. I don't know if I want... Oh yeah, now we can Gamba too. Maybe I do want to play like another character, but since we got a Guardian Relic, I think I'm gonna... I wish I saved more of my Merc.
Are y'all staying the same class or are y'all switching?
I got a Guardian for... a Relic for Guardian, so I might do one more as him and then switch.
Alright. What about you, Lepa? Yep.
Damn, there's so many cool effects, dude.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, improved
What class
guard
are you
counters
playing?
+1.
Swordman.
Improved Vig, Endurance, and Dex, reduced Int and
It's
Fate.
Executor.
Fire attack power up +4. Improved guard
Yeah.
counters, taking damage causes blood buildup. Improved strength and Dex, reduced vigor. Oh man, there's so many interesting effects. I was just doing a little bit of Gamba with the new relics. There's so many cool new effects, actually.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right.
Huh?
Huh?
Oh.
I'm gammaing too. Ah, that is some... Ah. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna ready up.
All right.
Or am I? Iron Eye is so fun.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Iron Eye.
Two.
Lepus not impressed.
I'm just equipping stuff full up.
How come I have one that doesn't have any negative effects? Is that just lucky or?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
lucky, yeah.
Hmm.
Even more
Wow.
RNG.
Yep.
You got to get the right rolls, but also no negatives.
Yes.
Dude, Guardian's probably insane if you have
Did I
like
pick the
4 or
correct one
5
now?
guard counter
Surely I did,
boosts.
right? I think so.
Oh my god, I
This mode's kind of sick.
don't know.
I
which
definitely didn't pick
goblet I
Augur.
have.
So,
Like
yeah.
these extra relics are so nice, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh god, Augur. Wait, maybe I... Alright, I'm gonna go Revenant.
This
I don't have
fight's
any-
so
The wrong
mega
goblet.
ass.
Don't have any relics for her, but... Guardian's gonna be pain.
Dude. I picked the wrong goblet. I'm so fucked.
Did you change that here?
They don't stack?
No.
No,
I'm
maybe you
pretty
can't.
sure guard counter stacks, no? Are you sure? I'm like 99% sure guard counters stack. Unless they changed it.
Oh, did Borderlands 4 release today?
I think so.
Yeah, I released today. Yeah, I did.
Maybe with
Just
like
now?
paid early access, as usual.
I see.
Yeah, the new norm. But,
You got
oh,
streamer
Snowy Mountain.
early access. You got streamer early access, and then you got 3-day early access, and then you got normal, and then there's a free weekend coming up, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have any stone sword?
I got one key. I'm gonna try to kill
We
these
have
dudes
right
down here.
Oh, yeah, all right. I just went straight for it. Two. I got some new like gimmick thing on with the Hawkeye or Iron Eye. Hawkeye.
Was there any good seals that you guys picked up? Thank you. Let's go level
So
up
what are you
first.
looking for? Incantations or?
Yeah, just like improved incantations. I don't know. I think I need lightning against Augur. It's
don't
been so
remember what
long
he's-
since I've done this boss.
Yeah, it's not the favorite.
No. Oh boy. Oh my god, they're cooking me.
Oh my! The spin, man, the spin.
Everjails do not mess around on this. That marks your break, yeah. Easy peasy. All right, we have a church. We have the castle in front of us. Then we have church west of it.
Yeah, we should get the church. We could take this tree afterward and go to like the other church.
True. That's smart, yeah. Do we not do the castle? Skip it?
Well, we could still do it like later once the circle closes, maybe if it's in there.
True. True. No golden food? So we treeing?
Eat.
Yeah, let's tree.
Is Borderlands for Unreal Engine 5? Does anyone know? I'm gonna guess it is.
It was.
Yeah. It is.
God.
Yeah, apparently it is.
Is DTS in the lake there?
DT. Oh, Dragon. Oh, Tree Sentinel. Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah.
easy. Right?
Yeah, that guy fucks.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah.
It's not like the pleb Tree Sentinel.
Right.
It's
but-
the
yeah.
Mega Dragon guy.
Ha! Got him.
What?
I said got him. Got him.
Yeah, let's
Got
go
him
to the
for what?
church.
We killed him. That's what I mean.
Oh, that would kill him?
Yeah, got him. We got him.
Yeah.
Never mind. Let's just.
Yeah, we
focus
did.
on Running.
we did get him. It's true. Yeah. They died and we got loot from it. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, I've got another key. I want to do this.
Okay, let's go there.
Fucking stuck in a dog. Oh my god, this. Your HP.
Yeah, he kind of hurts.
Are you opening it?
I don't know where I'm going. I'm just chilling in the camp, I guess. I'm coming.
Okay, I don't know if we're gonna have enough time, but
No, you got it. You got it. I'm coming. You coming. You got it.
It's coming. Oh lord, it's coming.
Game. 20,000 runes. I'll take that.
all right, castle. Let's do it.
Yes, castle.
Oh, it's the trolls again. We could kill the trolls first.
Yeah.
If we go up over here, you can actually avoid like aggroing any of the other ones.
Oh, real? Oh.
Yeah, you just got to go like straight to the right here. Just make sure not to get too close.
Ah. Is this death?
Oh no, the other troll's throwing shit. Ah!
Bro.
Incoming! Oh my god, I'm gonna die!
You want the giant seal?
Motherfucker!
Oh.
I just dropped the giant seal here for you, Dist. I don't know if you want it though.
Okay.
Oh! Dude!
You guys are insane.
Trollige.
Get some starlight shards. Oh, on mana.
Wait, the harp bow actually plays harp music when you fire with it? I never realized.
Yeah.
Makes sense though. Yes! Yes! Please, another bomb. May I have another? Yep, there it is.
Careful what you wish for.
Feels good, man. Oh, there's another. Yep! Oh my god!
No
I'm
way!
gonna die again! We're getting destroyed by Troll
More
Castle.
Estus.
I'm gonna go level up. Fuck this, dude.
Troll!
Why is this grace?
Troll in the dungeon.
Oh, there's a red dude here.
Oh, I think they finally fixed the lock on.
Did they?
I don't know. It felt better there.
Hmm.
Might be wrong though.
I didn't discover this one.
Are we going basement of Castle or?
We can try, yeah.
I need to get the grace to have like no healing. Oh, it was in the patch notes apparently.
Oh, that's a good one, Lepa.
Alright, let's do bottom of the castle. Maybe we shouldn't.
I'm gonna go see what it is at least,
It's gonna
so
be
we know.
Elden.
I'm gonna
It's
go clear
the-
another castle. Who is
It's like
it?
the Black Knife Assassin. Honestly, we could maybe
okay.
kill him.
I have no ult. Are you going for it?
Oh, the air is already here, right? I don't know.
I'm going for it.
Okay, I'm going for it too then. I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys.
Leave no man behind.
Are you
Okay, maybe we leave. I don't know.
Oh,
Actually, we're committed. Fuck it. I'm gonna ult.
I'm leaving.
Are
I
you
don't
sure
like-
about this?
Yeah, I don't like this. Oh, you're ulting? Damn it.
Wait, he's almost dead.
Oh, I missed my back. Fuck.
No, it despawned!
No! Guys.
Let's just run.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we went for it right away, we would have had it, but I kind of
Yeah, it's
hesitated.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh my god, my health! Ah!
No, I'm gonna die midair. I'm gonna die midair. Drink! No!
I'm shooting like Legolas!
Oh, I might go down. I'll be close.
Shit, I'm gonna go down too! I have no
Oh!
healing left! Go! Okay, I'm fine! Oh my god, I need a grace or something.
There's one right here. What? Well,
Where? Oh, there.
There was one here. You might,
Can I-
where
can
the
I
fuck
get
are
that?
you? You're up in the mountain, dude.
I'm gonna I'm gonna die if I grab that. Am I? No, yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, I can, here, stand by me, Ella.
Yep. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, it's regen. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're chilling. Oh, I got a flask. Oh, yeah, I did. Cool. Wow. So poke. Well, well, well. Who do we have here?
We're on depth 1.
Break that mark. Break it. Come on, Mark. Break then. Yes. Another one. Oh, right. Come on! Yes! Another one.
I'm spanking him. He's being a naughty boy.
Uh-oh, the big slam. The mega slam, it's coming. Here it is. Woo!
I don't even know if I've ever seen that attack.
Yeah, I saw it first time today.
Oh, alright.
I can repose.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Damn.
ran me over.
Come on, Mark, die! Break the mark! Oh. Successive attacks don't work with bow, right? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so.
Wow, this was some trash then. You do still get depth rating even if you play on lower than the one you have unlocked, yeah. You get 150 instead of 200.
Oh, you could like cheese it like that, I guess.
Yeah, I could grind to depth
Technically.
3 from in depth 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a boss below us, and then there's a tree there we could take to fly up if we want.
Where do we want to go?
Below, I mean, we have
You wanna
this
go there?
right there. I mean, we should also just do the castle.
Yeah, whatever you want. Do you want to go castle, you think?
Castle. Castle.
Alright.
Castle's fun. I like castle. I like killing the basement, then getting a talisman, then climbing on top, killing the guy on top.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what boss do we have? Oh yeah, it's What is it weak against, this augur?
I think it's lightning.
Okay, alright. Oh, there's a red thing here. Yep, washed. Yep, washed. Yep, okay, I just...
Don't worry, I got him.
Yeah.
Does he drop anything?
I got this next one. What?
Oh, they're all red.
No, it's mine, Lepa. What? Where's the last one?
I got him.
No.
Oh wait, the riposte didn't kill him?
Oh, you did it.
What? It didn't do enough damage. I'm too weak, I guess. I don't know. It didn't one-shot him.
Oh. Well,
Oh, Jesus!
sure, one
Hell.
shot you. That.
Oh, a red drop, though.
Yeah. Oh, the black bow.
Careful.
Black bow, red drop. Hecking pag.
Oh, what the?
Slower art gauge when below max health. Yeah, that's yeah. But man, it's strong as hell though. And I got fire on the weapon. Cool. Oh, it's a good ass bow. Oh, good.
So happy for you.
Yes, yes. Let's go.
With my short sword.
I got a short sword. Is that a short
Shut
joke?
up.
Can you upgrade the red weapons? I don't know.
I have no idea, to be honest. They don't say plus anything.
Yeah. Maybe you could turn it into a legendary? Because I think you can equip the red ones earlier than the legendaries. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Two. Legendary! Oh, Erdtree bow! Holy damage!
Oh, wow,
Hell
so
yeah.
Happy for you. Let's see what I got. Oh, wow. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Did you get nothing?
Oh, that's Dragon Blade, whatever.
Oh wait, this is
It's
enchanted
not.
shot. Erdtree bow is mega pogue. Wait, was this guy weak against Holy? Or was it?
Lightning, I think.
Ah, fuck, whatever then.
I am going up top.
Alright.
Oh, can you guys...
Me
do you know the skip, by the way? Here?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Could you buy me some starlight shards at the merchant up here?
Yeah, I have 2,200.
Oh, you should have
Might
enough
be
now.
too poor.
They're
Oh,
1,200
let's see
each.
that. Oh, they are. Oh, yeah, I'll buy you. Here they are. I'm going up top. Murdering, chilling. Oh, it's Loretta. It's over.
Doing pretty good damage.
Oh, I greeted. Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah, one shot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got you, don't worry.
Thank you, thank you.
Watch out!
Oh shit!
I got you, don't worry. Let my keeper busy. Okay, well.
No, I'm good.
Alright, you got this. I'll get Lepa.
This has ult. I don't think you need it though.
I am lagging like hell. This is crazy.
But you were so high up, Lepa.
Oh, legendary! Bolt
Azure-
of Grand Sack!
You don't use staves, do you? This no.
No.
I have reduced spell FP cost 20% here though, if you want that.
Yeah, I can take it.
On the bloody hell is here. Knights Encroachment, I'm not sure what that is. Alright, oh yeah, we've done the base. Where do we go? Top mountain, I guess?
Yeah, let's just do the
Kill the
mountain.
dragon?
Have you seen? Have you done the skip on the mountain before?
No.
No.
I've done a skip.
You can just like Skyrim it, basically.
Oh yeah, I've done that. I
Yeah.
know.
I'll just follow you guys.
The troll is boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a lot of trolls.
Legendary. Power. Oh, I got the Regal Scepter.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it's something anyone wants though. Wait,
I've got
you
like
get
lightning
something-
spear, so I'm probably just gonna spam that.
I'm gonna pick it. You get something when you're walking with it. That's kind of interesting. Huh.
Bro, leave me alone.
Listen, Salad, if we could be four, we would invite you, alright?
I'm sorry, who was that?
Wait, he doesn't know I'm.
Yeah, what's going on?
Clueless!
Oh, Rain of Arrow. Nice.
Yeah, so good on these dragons. Rivers of Blood? You want that, Lepa?
Batch.
But here, Lepa, this is literally for you. This is your dream weapon.
Lepa's not interested.
I
Embrace
guess I
the
can
edge.
grab it. Thank you, thank you. I'll take it. Thank you very much. My dream weapon, you say?
Yeah, embrace the edge.
Is that the
I
skip?
guess. Yeah,
No.
no.
You guys coming
I'm
up?
just jumping the wrong mountain. Yeah. You go up here, Lepa.
Oh. What is this, peak?
Yep. All right, here we come. Wait, are we? Oh yeah, this is the frostbite dragon. Fuck.
Yeah,
This
we don't
one
want to
blows.
fight him yet. We just want to climb.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I wasn't fighting him anyways. It's yeah. Lepa,
Oh,
we go
okay.
up here.
You
I
fucking
will
baited
raise
me!
you. No. Climb the mountain here like Todd Howard, all right? Okay, I'm just gonna die. No, I'm fine.
You guys are fine. Always breathing.
It's fine. Okay, we're up.
God. I'm gonna ult for Lepa. Fuck this. Let's
Okay,
go.
okay, alright. Oh my god, it goes right up the mountain! I'm gonna die!
Go!
Yeah, we kill him after we get the power. Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, there's a grace here.
You could have just killed him then.
You don't really want to.
Oh.
Holy Frost Nation.
Oh my god! Leave me alone!
Is he staggered? No. Next. Okay, he should
Gotta be
stagger any
soon.
time, right? Surely. Hot.
I don't think we do much posture damage though.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I
Oh
guess
my
I'll
god.
just-
Do you have ult, Ella?
I can ult, yeah. Let me just line this up.
Pretty big AoE.
Let me just not line it up. Let me just shoot it somewhere. Wait, who am I aiming at? You, this. Okay.
Lepa, no!
He'll come back. He's right near. It's fine. It's alright. Oh my god, the frostbite buildup.
Oh, that's the longest loading screen.
Oh shit, the flame is here. I mean, the night. The
Oh
night.
my
flame.
fucking god! I'm already here!
Yo, I got Hand of Melania for you, Lepa.
My loot!
My
Dude,
soul!
I have no healing, I got a ditch.
My loot!
There's a grace there.
Lepa, I have a Hand of Melania for you, alright? You don't need any loot.
What the hell is that?
It's the legendary katana from Melania.
Oh.
Yes, come to me.
Oh, let's kill these trolls. We can.
Let Meister.
I'm going up the mountain.
Okay, alright, let me know when you're back so I can give it to you. Oh shit, the rain.
Oh, legendary!
Well.
I'm coming.
Okay, Lepa, come to me. Right here. Grab that shit. That is a good weapon for you. Amazing weapon, alright?
Why am I fucking dying? Dude! I'm looking at stuff!
I got you.
Anybody want Mogwin's spear or whatever?
Nah.
Thank you for the katana. I will cherish it forever.
Yes. No problem. That must be the best weapon you can get as an executor. It's gotta be.
As a what? Oh,
Executor.
swordman. Yeah, true.
Yeah, swordman, yes.
Oh god.
Is that troll stuck over there?
Yeah, I've been battling him.
I'll help you. Oh, legendary! Wait, I have no healing!
We can
Look,
get
I
it
want
at, just get it after afterwards.
But they buffed the rain so you can't go explore after.
Well, that's close enough, right? Early?
Yeah, but I have no healing, and
Well, there'll be a grace after we... Is there a grace after we beat it?
I don't think so. Is there?
No, there's no grace after this one. It's just the wad of cum.
I mean, if you die, you can... I don't know. We'll see how much damage it does. It might be fine.
Yeah. God, this class is so OP. Oh no, I'm in danger. Time to dash away. Infinite eye.
Waterfowl, baby.
Ow. Julio?
Two.
Oh god, I have rot. Oh, that's not good.
Two. Even before we wipe to this.
Yeah, I'm gonna
hilarious.
go down.
I have my ult again.
I'm rotted and I have no healing left, so I'm gonna die.
Oh shit. Okay, I can res you with ult, or maybe Lepa can res you.
Yeah, he's got me. It's alright.
Alright. Oh no, he's fucking spinning. Are you kidding me? I might ult this so I don't die.
Oh my god, he hit me with the grab. What the? I've never seen this.
Oh my god, it's raining fire! What? What's...
I'm coming.
I'm hiding in the bush.
Oh, one's coming your way.
That's fine.
Oh, both of them's come. Oh, they're both coming.
That noble has like no health
Big
left.
boy, big boy.
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna try
killed
to
the
kill
big boy.
Noble.
He's dead!
What the?
Oh no, I'm gonna check that legendary over there.
Stance break. Cool.
Ooh.
How much damage does it do? Let's see. Make
There's
sure
no
you have like an
physical.
open slot though.
Ow, ow, ow. Oh my god, it hurts so much.
I'm going in. Oh my
It's gonna be
god.
funny.
Axe of Godfrey.
You're dying.
No, I just...
2 more ticks. This.
Lepa, help!
Fucking hell.
I accidentally dropped my other bow. So I had to run back and grab it. Thank you. Oh, this! You want this, I think. It's improved charged incantation, 18%.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Don't mind if I do.
I have plus 18 charged incantation if you want it.
Oh, yeah.
It's Rivers of Blood.
Oh. Are you... Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah, I
not going to do
found
much
that.
on the fight anyways.
Do you want the Regal Scepter for the Moon spell dist?
No, it's okay. I'm just going to spam charged lightning spear. I have like
Oh, okay, cool.
70% improved damage. Only a
Oh,
blue
shit.
though, but... Yeah.
Dist, do you want me?
Yes.
Yes. Damn, we always get level 15. Crazy. Here you go, Dist. I'll drop some Starlight Shards over here. I am him.
Oh, there's a shard here too. If you have room.
I got like 6. Should be good.
Okay, Mr. Protagonist.
It looks cool.
Oh shit! Wait.
58% improved damage.
Fuck.
You can jump on top of this gate. I never knew that. Oh, hell yeah, you can. Oh, this is Pog. Cool.
Check him, PC. What the heck?
You get a nice view over here.
Does it not trigger when we're... I guess we have to drop
It
down.
doesn't seem like it.
Oh, fell down.
What happens if you fall down there?
I think you just respawn, but you lose the level still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love this boss. Yes, let's go. What's the gimmick with this boss anyways?
You want to like kill the bombs.
Oh, yeah, right, because that damages the boss, right? Yeah, I see.
Ironheart's pretty good with this.
I'm afraid of no ghost. I'm afraid of no sleep.
Bustin'.
Yeah! Banger. Oh, I should probably mark the boss. Oh, let's see if we can break that. Can I remark maybe? Stand still. Come down and stand still, please. Nice. Yes, I could. Good stuff. Okay, I guess I'll die. Whatever. Did killing these tentacles do anything?
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
I think it also damages the boss if you do the tentacles.
Oh, yeah. Where's the parry?
Son of a bitch!
Just parry. No, my mark! Oh, nice dagger. I will repost that. Mark? Yes. No, the mark. Don't let it die. Nice. Oh, cosmetic meat. Yep. No more! No, you motherfucker, come back!
This was easy. What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, this boss is not the greatest.
That's a tough boss, yeah. Cool. That was a tough game.
Mm.
Oh.
You guys were awesome. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh. Huh. For Guardian, character skill boosts damage negation of nearby allies. So when you do the whirlwind,
Yeah, I got one of those for Guardian. That's why I wanted
Oh.
to try him, but then and then we
Oh,
got
yeah.
Augur, so I was like, I don't want to do a 30-minute long fight.
Oh my god, I just got a really good one. That's nice.
Are there any new skins? Mm. Oh. I thought they added some.
No, they did not. No. No. No.
Does Cursed Sword scale with Arcane?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Hmm.
I'll go back to Guardian now. What do we got? Come on, Gamba. Gamba, Gamba, Gamba. HP increased for each great enemy defeated at a great church. Oh, wow. I got
What?
one that gives max HP every time you defeat an enemy at a great church.
Oh yeah, I have one of those too.
Seems pretty good.
Great church.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Oh.
I guess that's like
I
the
mean-
churches where you get the stone sword key, maybe?
Right.
I just got one for Revenant. Increased max FP upon ability activation.
Oh.
Yeah,
Damn.
what the hell? That's kind of crazy. And holy attack power up +3.
Holy.
Holy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Man, you can probably get some like absolutely disgusting builds now with all these relics.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No doubt. No doubt. What character are you guys playing now?
I'm gonna try Guardian as long as we don't get Augur. Honestly, if we get Augur again, let's just wait. Do we lose rank if we leave?
No, there's no penalty.
Oh, okay. I don't want to do Augur again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this skin sucks. I'm gonna switch it.
What's up, Golden Phoenix? Every time her passive triggers, she gets a permanent 1 FP boost. Yeah, there's some like really interesting effects with this mode. I'm excited to get to depth 2.
Hell yeah. So I
Oh,
think
sorry, you waiting for me?
depth 5 is max, I think.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I will ready up.
I'm gonna get a drink quick,
Oh.
but it should be fine. Just let the cutscene play.
Me too.
Oh, it's Dark Drift Night Dist, if you can hear me in the buff room. Who do I play? I don't know. Iron Eye's fun. Who do I play? Play. Raider. Recluse. Okay, I can Recluse. Colossal Weapon Revenant. I don't find Revenant that fun. I can only play on depth 2 because Lepa and Dist are on depth 1.
I think I like Dawn more.
I still get
Plebpa.
rewards though. Plepa.
Plebpa.
Plebpa. Oh.
It's like pleb because I'm in the first depth.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
Did someone just immediately try to grab me as I touched down?
What was...
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was
Wait, what
you.
happened? What happened?
I think Lepa was about to get insta-grabbed the moment he...
Oh.
Yeah, immediately after I touched down.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is there more enemies we can kill? Because
Yeah. Murdering some stuff here. We don't have 4,000 though.
I think we'll have enough after you get that one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's enough.
Cool.
Barely.
So we got a church immediately. Oh, yeah. We have 2 churches here.
Oh yeah.
And also there's a red guy up on this place right here. Let's do this one, I guess.
Red Golem's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, he's fine. There's no sorcery tower. Oh, there's 2 to the east, they're right next to each other.
Two?
Do you have like the FP increase when you activate them?
I do.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
that's so good then. Nice.
At least I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, you have it on.
Oh, you can check that.
Yeah, if you go to
More you
the
know.
like status screen and then press right on the D-pad.
Nice. Yeah, then I gotta get
I have a
those.
key.
I have a pen. I have
No.
an apple.
No.
What?
Pineapple.
Apple pen.
Oh my god, I thought you were an enemy. Oh my god, I just got squished.
Absolutely stumped.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Nice. I gotta check the staves in the tower. And ooh, crystal staff. Oh wait, spell
Nice, rat.
I'm getting a crystal staff. Oh my god, this rat's crazy. These rats are crazy. What the hell? Oh, I accidentally ultimated. Yep. Nice. Well, we got stuff.
Could do the average ale.
Yeah, we should do that. I'm just gonna check the tower here for the staves.
Yeah.
We should probably get the church first. Let me go over that way.
Following dist.
Yeah, let's get the churga. Churche. What does attacks impaired on occasion? On rare occasions, attacks do less damage. Does that work for spells too? I have no idea.
Nom.
All right, where do we go? Everjail somewhere?
Yeah, we could grab this, grab a key
Oh, we
here
have-
too. If we want.
We have the last church over there next to this place we're going, kind of.
Yeah, we could.
Oh wait, that's
could
second
snag
last
that.
church, I guess. Well, yeah, we could actually grab that church after this place. Then we grab the tree and fly down to the last church, and then we got them all.
Mm-hmm.
Roar! XD.
Yeah. All right, we go up there. We take the tree over right next to us after, and then boom, profit. And then after we get that church down there, we could do the 2 rises because they're right next to the church.
Yeah, I got a key as well.
Hell yeah.
Strats.
Well, it looks like we got a game plan.
We could maybe do this Everdrill. Actually, I'm gonna grab a second key.
Yeah. So we chilling here?
You have a key, Lepa, don't you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay, sweet. Then we're good.
Yeah, you can open that.
I guess I'll just die.
Oh, what boss is it?
Oh, it's 2 Nox warriors.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Ella,
I'm coming.
Huh?
my crit.
You're crit.
Never mind. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm not even thinking about it anymore.
Oh, here, Ella, take these.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Where now?
We can go hit that Everjail.
Oh, we were supposed to
Yeah, I don't.
take the tree, but I don't know about that now, though.
Might be better just to run now.
Yeah, I think we just run. We get to get the castle on the way, maybe. If we feel strong enough.
I'm thinking we just save castle for day 2 and get those rises for you.
Sounds good.
Okay. That sounds good. I like that.
It's Crucible Castle.
Alright, I'm running to the Everjail. Hopefully we'll have enough time for everything. Oh, Mortar, that's true. Yeah, that's true. The max HP increases the damage of your guard counters.
Just killing the scarab. Improved attack power at low health. One of y'all need to get that. Very pogue. Lepa, do you want this talismano?
What is it?
Improved attack, power, low health.
Yeah, I can hold on to it. Thank you.
There's improved sorceries here. It's only 5% though. I don't know if we kill this air tree. I don't know if we're gonna have. I only have holy damage on my weapons, so. Oh, I don't know if Oh, you guys are killing that. I'm gonna try to start opening these rises for you.
I do it. This guy dies kind of fast.
Yeah, I only have holy damage on my weapons, so I figured it might be better just.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah, what do you think, Lep Up?
I don't do that. You need to do that.
He's like not even half health yet. I say we, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
We can go back for him. We can go back.
We can pretend.
That rice is open.
Yeah, we can go.
When do you get
The
the
south
mana
one?
buff from it? Is it when it unlocks?
Yeah, you should have one
Okay.
buffer, I think.
My mana bar is huge.
Oh, this one is like
Already.
a free open as well. There
Oh,
is an
shit, the fucking-
Everjail, but I don't know if we have time. Probably not. No, I don't think so.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Well, we can go back and kill the tree, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I gotta go check the. Oh yeah, I got the. Oh, it's a big buff you get. Damn. Is it going all right over there?
Yeah, we're fine.
Surely I won't die out in the rain here. That'd be really dumb. I got the warrior jar shard.
I missed it.
Oh, nice. I don't have any
Anyone
good
wants
skill,
that?
but yeah, I can trade you.
Stagger, maybe? No? Huh. Oh my
What?
god. One second.
What did I die to? Oh, I thought I was a. Oh my god, we're gonna wipe on this night.
I got
no, we're
you.
I thought I was outside the rain.
Thank you, this.
Thank you. How embarrassing. Well, I guess we'll kill it later.
Yeah, we can kill it
Yeah.
after, like right after the day is done.
Yeah.
Oh, Ella, I got starlight shards here too. If you want any?
Nice.
Oh, oh!
Oh my god, that guy's still aggroed.
He killed the crab for me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Honestly, I feel like with these new relics, Guardian has potential to do like insane damage, but so does like every
okay.
class.
Yeah. Ow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's spamming this shit.
Doing it again.
He's doing
Oh,
it again.
dear God, it's coming. Oh, watch it, watch it, watch it.
Careful.
He's insane. Worm Fassé.
Is that a Scrubs reference?
Oh yeah, it is. Oh my god, I'm getting.
My man.
If I ult, does
I
that
love Scrub.
prevent Deathblight buildup?
Oh my god, I'm mooning a little rat. Take it. Bleed, dumb worm. Can you even bleed these? I don't know.
Oh.
No, I want to cast my moon. Moon. Moon is very booming. Wow. This is
Alright.
some trash.
Go kill
Yikes.
this stupid tree.
0 weapons.
Yeah, I have like no good weapons still.
I got some stuff.
That moon is doing work. You have so much mana, I imagine.
Yeah, it's... And I keep getting just the infinite mana buff with the cocktail. So it's
Oh,
basically
nice.
just spam. Found Ordova's great sword. Anyone wants it?
I have 2 magma whip candlesticks.
You get
What
power
are these
stance.
fucking drops, man?
This improves attack power at two-handing 13% on this great sword.
That's good for Lepa.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. We do castle, yeah? Or-
Yeah, yeah. No shifting earth this time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lepa, you want the warrior jar shard, right?
Oh, yeah, I've got something for you as well. Oh,
Oh, great. You guys gathering all my
Ooh.
stuff. Thank you.
That's a banger. Lepa, that's
Oh,
not...
yeah.
You drop that, all right? Trade me. Charge spells and skills.
What do you mean it's not for me?
You ain't got no fucking charge skills.
I could have some.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's this? Oh, dog!
Oh, great. Run up, moon. Oh, yeah, they're kind of strong against this, aren't they? Yeah, I guess I'll die. Fuck it.
I'll ult.
2 dogs!
Spam your moon.
Spam
hell
your
yeah.
dog!
The moon isn't, well, let's see. Yeah, it's alright.
Staggered? Maybe? Oh, okay. Okay, yep, nope. You guys do you.
Which moon is it you want anyways? Is it Ronnie's or... Ronnie's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that one does cold damage or something.
I kind of wanted to give him the spell cost,
Source
but
successive
I also kind of want
attacks.
damage. I don't know.
Oh, spell FP cost 20%. Are you kidding me? Of course.
You want improved sorceries plus 11.
Yes, I do.
Okay, it's a butcher knife.
Thank you. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's insanely good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I might not need that. Don't need that. I got killer ass gear and I could just spam this moon. Is there any more rices to open?
I think it's just 2. If you find any good halberds, appreciate it.
Lower, reduce skill FP cost. Anyone wants that or... Oh wait, raises magic attack. Oh, hell yeah. Oh my god, my gear is crazy. Let's go. Zamor curved sword?
Oh, there's a red one down here.
Don't need that. Wait, who are we up against? Oh yeah, the
Oh, I'm muted.
Knight or whatever.
There's a red one down here.
Yeah, we're chilling.
We drop some golden
We
vial.
climbing up or are we climbing down?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah. Let's
wait,
go
we
up.
just-
Yeah,
it
we
was
got the
dog
bottom
down.
one.
Right. So...
Oh, I do have this. Might be okay for you.
Yeah, does that work on my stuff? I don't know.
Well, you're like, you have S scaling and faith as well, but I mean, it's probably not. It's not better than moon
yeah,
spam.
true. Yeah, moon spam is kind of strong. Oh, we went right through him! What a scam! Good job, Lippa.
I'm here too.
I'll take this. Oh, the Rings of Light and Lightning Spear. Yeah? Wait, isn't this boss weak to lightning?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he is, actually.
I'm dead. Oopsie.
Now I got a lightning trigger, too. Nice. We're moving up top, or?
Yeah, let's go top.
Nice.
So I have so many souls.
Yeah, same. 170. Oh. Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy some Starlight Shards, right? I'll need it for this. Is there crossplay in this game?
I don't think so.
Oh, I got the auto parry one. Funsies. I'm gonna spam moons until I die.
I will ult. Oh my god, you're doing so much damage.
It's kind of crazy. But now I'm out. Now I gotta cocktail it up. Ow.
You can use Starlight Shards if you want. I can buy you some.
Okay, nice. I'll do that then. Alright, mooning it up.
You're like all of our DPS.
I'm just sitting still in R2, that's it. That's all I'm doing.
Well, you're doing great.
Good stuff.
I found Albinaric shield here. That's a medium shield, though.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Alright. Wow, this is some ass. Yeah, terrible. Alright, what do we do?
Um,
I'm right next to you if you're buying shards.
I guess I already bought them. Did I drop them for you before? I didn't realize.
This is all good.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't buy you any.
You
It's
poor?
all good. Why is Lepa on an Xbox Live mic? I don't think
Oh,
Lepa...
don't tell me.
No,
No, you
it's-
sound fine.
Yeah, I think you sound fine too,
Oh.
to be honest.
Did I just get one guide by somebody else's chat? Oh my god.
I think so.
Oh, we're fighting.
Oh my god.
I'm here too.
We're going this boss?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I do have
I never realized...
some keys
Oh, yeah.
still.
Oh, yeah. I could... My staff that I'm using the moon with is a blue staff.
Oh, you have a blue with it. Dang.
It's a blue staff with a... If we upgrade
You
it,
wanna
I
go
can
to the
make even
mine?
more.
Yeah.
It would be nice to go to the mine.
one
We can
right
kill
here.
the boss first, maybe. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, we can kill the... Oh, it's
Yeah,
magma
we-
worm. Maybe let's just go to the mine.
Okay. But yeah, we do the mine for increased deeps, and then... Where's the mine? Oh, it's over there, yeah.
Ah, right here.
Yep. Whoa!
Yahoo, yahoo, yahoo!
Oh, it's, he's red. Oh, he's behind the wall, so he's gonna whiff, I think. Yep, it's all good.
I'm here too.
Ooh, a red. Oh, guys' wheel. Interesting.
Clinging bone.
Let's see, can I upgrade somewhere here? I don't see a merchant anywhere close. Oh, yikes.
Oh, it's because I'm on my fucking PS5 controller mic again.
Oh, on your stream.
Classic. That's surprisingly good,
gotta-
to be honest.
You gotta start telling me if it's ass, guys.
I think
Well,
it's fine.
it was on. It was that on Discord. I feel like you sounded fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you did too. Do we fight this magma worm?
Yeah, yeah. You can try. You should be able to maybe get him with the moon spam.
Yeah, if I have some mana, I'm gonna try to hit him once the moment he stands. Try infinite mana. Spam. Oh shit! Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah,
not.
let's get out of here.
I'm too low on mana.
I think we can well, there's
should be
invaders here,
merchants.
but we
Yeah.
can kill
There's a
these
merchant there,
easily.
too. Level 14, epic. These invaders are scary as hell. Oh, they're right here. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. That's...
Nice.
Boom. Mage smack.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm dead too.
Ruh-roh. Lepa, do you have ult?
Nope.
Oh my god, we're gonna wipe on this fucking night unless this
No, no,
lives.
no, no, no.
Oh! Alright, just
Alright.
run, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Nameless
Oh my
King.
god,
by
I
the way. We got Nameless King.
got laser. Thank you.
Nice.
Ooh, I got a good fucking halberd from
Oh, nice.
Guardian.
Worth it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you. Good, good.
Oh, I got a warmth buff here.
Oh, it's max HP as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Lepa's cooked.
Literally.
My bad, my bad.
Let's see. How can I res him? Well, apparently lightning
Careful,
does
careful.
nothing. Yeah, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, he's
Yo,
up.
that's huge, thank you.
I'm gonna ult. Oh, come on. What's he doing up there? I'm trying to get some mana. It's rough out there.
Yeah, I don't do any elemental damage, so.
Nice. Oh, you got him now.
Alright, time to grind him.
trying to get some easy mana.
He's fucking spamming, dude.
Fuck, I need holy. It's rough out here. Give me mana. Mana more. Mana. Mana. The saw. Alright. There we go. Now I'm gonna moon.
Oh, fuck was that?
Well, I guess not.
If you have Starlight Shards, I mean, we can all buy you some next day, so.
Alright. I do have a one I can pop, but I got full mana now. Soon. Oh, come on!
God damn it, I forgot about that.
Okay, that's the infinite mana buff.
Fucking hell.
Here I come.
I'm keeping him busy.
Yeah, that's perfect. Spam!
Fuck!
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh, periodic glint blades. Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna get those.
Yeah, those are nice. I'm excited. This fight. I like this fight.
Yeah, it's a fun fight.
Oh. Oh, hell yeah, Starlight Shards.
How many can you carry?
Well, full inventory. Oh. Oh yeah, I have a smithing stone, right. Gotta upgrade my moon.
Oh yeah.
Job's done.
Huh?
Starlight Shard. Oh yeah, Cerulean Hidden Tier. Can I have two of those? No.
I got it from the merchant earlier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can fit one more Starlight Shard, but I have 5 on me. I think it's fine.
There's one.
Oh, thank you.
You guys have any money left?
I have some. What do you
Yeah,
need?
I have 33k.
Just take some like warming stones and exalted
Oh, I have
flesh or like crab or something.
Right.
Warming stone. I have some exalted flesh. Do they drop automatically? I think I have to drop like that. That's gonna be mine, and then I have to drop them like this. There we go.
Okay, thank you.
Man, I wish I had glintstone swords.
It's okay, buddy. Alright, let's do it.
I'm just gonna spam the moon, I guess, the entire fight.
Classic
buffs?
recluse gameplay.
Yep. Pretty much.
Horseman!
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, he doesn't like that. Oh, I died. Whoops. I forgot. That's a bit delayed. That's alright. It's good damage, but yeah. I'm gonna die. Alright, we start over. It's all good. I'm just gonna spam it until I die. Alright. I'm gonna pop my ult.
Ooh, nice.
So dumb.
Oh my god.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get to the later depths.
Yeah, yeah. It is cool. Like even on depth 2, it's just a lot harder because you have the enhanced bosses then.
Mm-hmm.
They've added a bunch of like emojis on the map. What the hell? There's like a handshake and some other thing. What does that mean?
Ooh. Guardian increases duration of character skill. Which one is that?
It's like the longer tornado makes it
Oh yeah, that one.
stay.
Right.
Yeah.
Dormant power helps discover reapers. What are reapers? Is that
Like scythe,
Ah,
I think. Yeah.
I thought it was like. Oh yeah, no, that's claws she uses. Yeah. Bum bum ba ma 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 ma. How many points? How much points do you guys have?
600.
600.
Okay, it's 1,000 you need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for like one more if you
Yeah.
guys want to.
Let's do one more. I was gonna say one
Sure.
more sounds cool.
Have a good night, Durjan. Take care, buddy.
Partial HP restoration upon post damage attacks. What is a post damage attack?
It's like after you get hit.
Oh, after I get hit and I
Yeah.
attack.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I see.
Did you guys know you can actually D rank here?
D rank?
In
Yeah, like
Deep of Night.
Yeah. But not from 2 to 1, but 3 to 2 apparently.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah,
thought
so
you
you can
were
like
making-
D rank.
Thought you
I
were
don't know if
making
it's
a
true. I
D-
might have been one guide, but yeah. Sorry,
Yeah, I
I
was gonna-
interrupted.
It's fine. I'm not gonna say anything.
No, I'm quiet now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Liffa?
No, the moment's passed. It's not it. Forget about it. I was making a joke.
Oh, this red one's
Oh,
actually not
okay,
bad
this-
for Guardian, I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, arcane increased for each great enemy defeated at a ruin. Kind of interesting. Or how much you get.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. I think there is one for every stat.
Hey, is everybody reading a book for you guys? What are these
Huh?
fucking nerds doing?
Wait,
all
where?
the characters.
All the
are reading a
characters?
book.
They're just vibing. Ooh, that's
Yeah,
good.
you're just vibing, Lepa.
What the fuck?
Well, Pumped
Well,
Guy's not reading a book.
Kind of. I mean, all the negatives kind of suck, but
Iron Eyes. And...
thrusting
was he always all,
counterattack,
like,
physical
blinged up?
damage negation.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not bad for Guardian.
Dormant power helps discover halberds. Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
that'd be good for Dist, right?
Yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'll be ready in a sec.
It's all good.
Do I have another guard counter one?
I'm
I
gonna
just
check
want-
Borderlands 4 reviews. Borderlands 4. So it is mixed now. It's gone up.
Are people mad about the price tag?
No, I think it's the I guess maybe tech issues. Let me see.
So it is Unreal.
Yeah. It is. It is Unreal Engine 5, yeah.
What is Opaline hard tier? Opaline.
Isn't that the one that
Um,
reduces damage by a lot for one hit?
No, I think it's that's the bubble tier. The hard tier
Fast bubble.
is like damage negation for 2 minutes, like 10 or 15%, something like that.
I could have that in my position from the start of the expedition.
That's pretty pagunt pog. Oh yeah, who am I playing now? Who are you playing?
I don't know who I want to play.
I'm gonna guess Lepa is Swordman.
Let me think.
Maybe I'll do Duchess. I'm gonna equip some of the new relics though, real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna Raider, I think then.
Reduced rune acquisition? Nah, man. Hell nah.
Oh, I need to put gear on my Raider. He doesn't have any of those runes on. Hold on.
Oh, free weekend on Dune. Let's go.
Dune, did you like that game?
I did. Over 100 hours.
Damn.
Damn.
Okay.
I still log on in there weekly just to keep my base up. So they don't erase it.
Your what?
And pay my
Base.
base.
A base. A base. A base.
Balsa.
Base. Balsa.
And I and I pay my taxes and then I log off.
Wait, there's taxes to pay?
Yeah, there's taxes you need to pay if you
What the
get
hell?
up to that point.
Oh, hit with character skill. Reduce enemy attack power. That's really good. Well. Sorry, I'm just getting.
Well, maybe
my
we don't want
stuff.
double sleep buildup.
That's the
No
same
rush.
one.
Man, I wish I had more money to Gamba, dude. I should have known better.
Raise stamina recovery for nearby allies, but not for self. Like, come on, man. Not cool, dude. Yeah, I guess I'll go with that. It's the best I have. Sure. All right, I am so ready for video games.
All right.
I got a
yeah,
relic with I have a viewer. It says I got a relic with 3 continuous HP loss, and it almost immediately kills you when you first drop in. That's kind of based.
Holy shit! Wait, I got a decent executor one.
Ooh.
Got arcane increase at each rune, attack power with katanas, and vigor and endurance.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, yippee!
That's very nice.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm so happy for you, Dist.
Oh, thanks.
How does I know we taking hits or whatever or damage charges up Raider's ability, but is it how much damage you take or how much you get hit? How often you get hit?
I'm not sure actually.
So if you have damage negation, does it charge your skill slower then? That's what I'm wondering.
I actually have no idea.
Hmm.
I gotta say, Chad, I really like these new relics.
And
It
we
actually
have
feels like you
no,
have more of a
gimmick,
build
but we
now.
have a church right there,
Oh.
and a jail right next to it.
Do you have a key?
I don't have a key, no.
I always have the key start. I'm a
Cool.
meta slave.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, the Everjail relics. It's just too good to pass
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Well, you see, you have that on.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Maybe we'd go do the camp or go to the church. Yeah, we can go to
Yeah,
the church.
I mean,
I don't actually know. It's kind of a weird spawn.
it is. Yeah, we go church, I guess. Haven't leveled up anything.
Improved
Oh,
guard
there's a
breaking.
flower boss up there.
We can do this
Flower
camp.
boss. Yeah, flower boss next to the church up there. That one's free. Good staff here, maybe? I don't know if you want that. Just...
I'll take it.
Oh, it's Libra
Oh,
again?
shit, he's red. Red.
He's still weak, right? Sure.
Yeah, he is. You can backstab him constantly. Oh, okay, I got one shot. Yep.
Oops.
Guys.
Okay. Lock in.
Yeah. Just chain backstab him. I guess. Oh yeah, there's the attack power debuff. Cool. I'm scared. Ow.
Oh, I'm forgetting to use my rewind. I like never
Sorry,
played
pick luck
Duchess.
I do not like Duchess. I don't know why. Just don't really click with her.
Might want this.
What is the difference between stance breaking and guard breaking?
Guard is when they're like,
Ooh.
if they're blocking. Where stance is
I have
just-
90% guard breaking right now.
Yeah, that's not... A guard break is kind of shit. Stance break is really good, though, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn,
Did we check the key here? I don't know if we did.
I have a stone key.
I'm
you
going
got
up
the key?
for,
Okay.
Oh,
I
do
think
we
so,
key?
yeah.
There is the church, and then we have Miranda right next to the church. Oh, why is there an abyss here?
Where's Miranda?
On me.
Puppies?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Damn, we slaying though. Nice work. I hacking love improved jump attacks. Yay.
Yemps.
I think let's go. Maybe do this like outside. Oh, maybe not. Let's just go to this
Yeah.
one. Let's go to the close one after you guys get that
Yeah.
church.
I hate jump attack spam. It's the worst.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
kind of
it's-
annoying how
it's
good it
good.
is.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Jump equals attack. Okay, any plans here?
Let's go. Let's just go to the
There is-
castle, I think.
Yeah, sounds good. Level 5.
Yeah, I mean, we're a bit low. We could, like, it's so many magic ruins, which kind of suck.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, what boss do we have? Oh, Libra. He's weak to, what was it? He's weak to madness and, was it holy or something?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we could also just go down toward... I guess let's kill these guys at least.
Why do we have the trolls?
But try to pull this guy back.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the pot guy can reach this far.
This is true. Yep. Jump R2. Fire Holy Madness. Oh yeah, fire. I found a Nagakiba. Do you want that, Leppa? Leppa's using a great axe.
You got a problem with my great axe?
Here, have the Nagakiba.
I have an anchor too.
Oh god.
Thank you so much.
All good. I would like to upgrade this Fire Giant Crusher. It's got Flame from the Red Mains and is a Giant Crusher that is fire. Yep. If we have the path past the mine, that'd be cool if we could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Commander Standard. Oh yeah, right.
If I was on Guardian, that would be good.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I mean, you could still grab it, though, for the buff. I did get Golden Vow, though.
But the other one is 10% max HP increase. I
Yeah.
like that.
I
took
got
it.
Golden Vow, like the incantation, so it's super good. In fact, I will buff us right now. Stand by me, guys.
Stand by.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stand by me. Darling, darling.
In the sky. And we look above.
Frenzied flame.
Lul.
Pot. Huge. Nice.
But I keep finding only sorceries and incantation stuff. Jesus.
Let's go to the bottom and see if we can nuke him down real quick. Get that
All right.
talisman.
What level are you guys?
5, but I
6.
can't level up.
Right, same. Well, I have a key, remember?
Yeah. It's an easy boss.
Easy?
Mm-hmm.
Easy? Oh yeah, true. Do I grief? I could grief. Nah, I'm not gonna grief. I don't think I've
He's
hit her a
just
single
dodging
time.
the entire
I
time.
didn't hit the boss a single time.
Oh, you dissed.
Oh my god, I'm getting so many good things for the classes we don't play as. Jesus
Yeah, same.
Christ.
Oh well.
Wait, this boss is weak against Holy? I
Yeah.
got a
How
holy,
many
I got-
times do we have to tell you?
I got the Beast Claw Hammer. That's a epic holy weapon.
Fire, frenzy, and holy.
Yeah. This is Pog. Oh yeah, 238 damage versus
We could maybe do that ever drill.
204.
won't.
Wow, this hammer's so tiny. What the fuck?
Over jail? Okay.
This looks dumb as hell. All right, whatever. Go for it.
Oh, nice. It's right next to it.
Nice.
Yeah. Open it.
Oh, we also got the like rare town rare merchant spawn.
Oh, we
could
gotta
buy,
get that church down there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 churches we don't have. There's one over there too, which we could grab. Wait, do we grab the church bottom left, or is it too risky? We probably won't need it.
Yeah, I don't know if we should do
I don't
that.
think we need it. Yeah,
We
I don't
could
think
go
need it.
grab it after if we really want.
Oh yeah, that's true. I keep thinking this is the last.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Improved sorceries.
I was wondering the same.
Oh yeah, everything is sorceries this run. Sorceries and great shields.
Yeah, I don't even have any sorceries except that one staff you gave me. Really?
Yeah.
We can kill the red wolf, I think. It's still closing pretty slow. Just pull him.
You sure?
Pull him. Yeah, just pull him over here. He'll come over here.
Oh, coming.
Surely he'll come over here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, hitting this guy is just a nightmare as a raider.
All right, yeah, just fuck him up now. For invis.
Jump equals
Where is he going?
attack. Jump equals attack. Dude, I swear, the amount of times I've gotten raised potency of sorcery and incantations. Dude, it's like every single drop. Maybe they just want you to play sorcery as raider. There's probably some weird build you can do.
I think there is a relic that gives you like 35 int and faith, but like reduces your strength or
Or
something.
is this Freya?
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. I think you're right. This has left
Oh.
this world. Wait.
Ella, you're spinning in circles.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
same.
I just got some disconnect.
Skinny.
Oh, you should be
Yeah,
able to
but if
reconnect.
I can reconnect. Yeah, I can reconnect. I'm coming back. Unable to restore current session as it has already ended. Okay.
What?
Okay,
Oh
relax.
no,
What?
no way. Wait, is it
Oh, wait, it's-
Tuesday?
People in chat got booted too. Yeah, people in chat got booted also.
Oh.
It's worldwide.
No.
Well,
Can't you call Miyazaki and tell him to hold it
yeah, we should, right?
Yeah, no, it's Thursday.
Nice.
I don't pay attention to what day of the week it is. I thought maybe it was Steam maintenance, dude.
It's like a Friday for me.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, a lot of people like lost their run now.
Dude, the damage is insane though. Attack power up when facing
Yeah,
frostbite
it's rough.
afflicted enemy.
Oh, gots to go walk the dog, I guess. Anyways.
That was so good.
though. Yeah. GG's, guys.
All right,
That's fun.
sounds good. Yeah, GG.
Yeah. GG's. I think I'm gonna be playing tomorrow. I want to see like the higher depths or whatever.
Yeah, I'm playing like all day tomorrow, so if you want to do
Oh, you
more,
are?
I'm
Cool.
down. Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah.
Well, unless
Sweet.
you guys want to play with Salad, I'd be willing to give my spot if he wants to tag along. But if he's not available, I'm here.
Sounds good.
Well,
Chill.
Salad's gonna. Yeah. Salad's gonna be playing Resident Evil, I guess. But I don't know how long.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's pick this up again tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. GG's.
Very Pagapog. GG's.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. That was fun, chat. Honestly, this new mode is, I really want to get to the later depths. It takes a lot of time, though. Yeah, we're going to be playing, like, Nightreign all day tomorrow. So, I guess we'll switch over to Dying Light now and do that for a little while. Yeah, depth. How many points do you need for depth 2? 2,000? Apparently depth 4 is no joke. Yeah, I'm excited to get to the later depths. It's gonna take a bit of grinding though. Depth 1 needs 10 games, while 3 to 4 needs like 10 games. You can view it in the library. Oh yeah. Yeah, so depth 4 takes twice the amount. I wonder if anybody's even made it to depth 5 yet. I guess people probably have if they've been playing nonstop. I gotta say, I actually, dude, the relics are like, you can actually make builds now with the relics, which is super sick. It feels like you're so much, like you can get so strong now. Does attack power up when facing like a status affected enemy? Does that stack? Dude, it was insane. During that, I don't know if it was during the Freya, during one of those fights, I popped my ult. And, like, I popped Frostbite, and I popped my ult, and I was doing, like, 200 damage per swing of the dagger. Because I have defeating enemies while art is active, ups attack power. And then also the Frostbite, and it starts with Chilling Mist. That's crazy, man. And then, you know, I guess like defeating enemies increases the art gauge is probably really good too. This is honestly a really good relic for Duchess. Sorceries, Frostbite, and Stam. I mean, I guess it has reduced strength and int. Maybe the reduced int. I wonder how... Does anyone know how much it actually reduces the stat by? By 3. What's the difference on the depths? I don't know. I haven't made it to the depth 2 yet. I don't know why the community is toxic. I mean, you don't like lose rank if you, well, yeah, I don't know. People are going to be toxic either way. I don't. Bushy made 4 but lost it. Oh, really? He's been, damn, that's crazy that it's that difficult. Man, I'm excited. We could try... Kind of tempted to do one more. But I mean, if we're playing with Leppa tomorrow, he's going to be lower depth rating anyways. I don't know if I should play solo or with randoms. We could play with chat, actually. I kind of want to, like, actually get my points up. Bushy's group got one tapped. Jesus. All right, we'll try to play one with chat. I wonder if there's people queued already. I don't know if there's actually people playing playing right now. Some people might already be in matches. Otherwise, I'll just queue with randoms. At that depth, you gotta treat it like a level 1 run. Well, maybe like instead you go more for like defensive relics, because there's a lot of relics that give you have like improved physical damage negation on the new relics. I wish I had more Merc though. I mean, I guess I could. I have a lot of relics that I could sell. To be fair, I just have to go through them all, which is kind of a pain. Oh, it's the final boss. Yo, I haven't actually done this boss in so long because, well, normally you just... well, I've just been doing the Everdarks, and there's no Everdark heal stir, so... Holy shit. Iron Eye's fucking going in. I wonder, do we... Okay, everybody has... Holy shit. Oh, this is a really good dagger. Actually. You want to go for this Everjail, or... I don't know. This might be kind of scuffed. I don't know, maybe we should have went south instead. I hope it's not a gargoyle. The fucking magma worm over there. Whatever, we're committing. I feel like south was the play. Holy shit, this guy's tanky as fuck. Oh, a shield. mean, I guess let's just go. We'll just do north side of the map, and we can do south side later, I guess. Well, we all have the Everjail relic, so we should have 4 keys. I don't actually know if anybody grabbed the key up top. I wish you could see your like teammate's inventory. Oh, he's doing the skip. Oh, I wish I had my ult right now. Oh. Oh, that was such a good rewind. Ooh, that's good. Oh, I'm taking damage negation. That's really good. Oh shit. That's not good. We should be able to do both, right? Should we not kill this guy? Is this a bad idea? Maybe let's just go up. Let's go up. Somebody's got a key. Damn, these guys are tanky as hell. We just go castle, I guess? I don't know. What's up, Salad? Dude, I have 250% increased night tide damage. I need to be careful, man. Oh, wait, are they going down? They're going down. Yeah, let's go down. Okay. Wait, are we actually fighting him? I don't think. I made the right play going going up top, it seems. Yo, what's up, Karmic? More runes from defeated enemies. Oh, interesting. What? We just go for the church? Oh wait, there's a dagger up there. Shit. I'm at depth 1. I haven't been playing that much. Oh, Reduvia. What is this music? Scary. I guess I normally play with speakers, so I never noticed. I need to be careful. How much that? Oh, holy shit, that hurts. I'm gonna go loot that chest over here. Honestly, this has been an okay day 1. Not too bad. I'll loot it after. I should probably use Reduvia in the offhand. Dude, we were doing so much damage there with the ults. Like, this effect, defeating enemies while art is active, is insane. It's actually so good. Maybe I'll just drop this. I don't want continuous HP loss. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Wait, what is this? I kind of want to do it. I hope it's not a death ray bird. Oh, I guess this other one we killed was also one of these. Maybe going here isn't really worth it, but whatever. It's only depth 1 anyways. We don't need to. Salmon is more useful for Iron Eye. You might be right. And get back here, you stupid moose. Ooh, a Wending Grace. I heard a scarab. I don't know where it was, though. Hello, rainbow trout. Yoink. Maybe Revenant. Revenant probably wants that. Probably needs that more than I do. I don't actually know where we should go now, to be completely honest. I guess we could grab that, and then maybe do the Evergel if we're lucky. And try to sneak a key real quick. Well, we'll go. It'll probably end at the castle, chat. Okay, we're not going to be able to do that Evergel, I don't think. Well, thank you, Rainbow. Honestly, I feel like going for this church is kind of, I don't know, maybe a little overkill. Probably could have cleared this camp too. Whatever, man. It'll be fine. Should change the title. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm not playing with Elle anymore. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'm still playing the Deep of Night. It's okay. Oh, maybe it is Depth 2. Huh. I don't know. Where's the loot? Is it not that? Oh. Yeah, I guess I'm on depth 2 then. Interesting. I feel like we should just go castle. and just do... Oh, shattering crystal. God dang it. Well... Yeah, too late. I don't want to climb up that thing again, though I probably should have. No, that seems kind of crazy though, Ryut. Oh, what the? Oh, I'm dead. Never mind. Normally that, like, stun locks you, but... The basement... Oh, we can kill the lion, too. Oh, never mind. We could go back up after, if we want. I'm alive. Oh, but I don't have blood loss now. God dang it, dude. I guess I could go back and grab the Roduvia. All of these effects are like so good. Can't be blood? Oh, really? Kinda wish I had like a purple smithing stone. I still don't really have like... Yeah, they did buff Guardian. You say Karmic? Oh yeah, I was playing Guardian. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, like the thing is, I think like Guardian got buffed, but like so did every other class. There's like absolutely insane combinations you can get on the classes now. Dang it. All right. Not bad, not bad. I'm pretty good, I think. Why is my max HP reduced? Oh, it's the seal. 6%. But the thing is, do you still get the effects of being max health? I think so. Like, does damage negation at full HP work even if you have minus max HP? Dude, what is going on? What is that constant proc? Dude, I take like no damage. Oops. God dang it. Where's the mark, Iron Eye? There you go. I always dodge too early on this, man. Can you even frostbite this guy? It's weird. I rewound that, but I feel like it didn't do anything. What am I doing, dude? Any frostbite procs? Woohoo! I don't think using the Duchess Dagger, I don't even know. I didn't really have anything that great. I'm not sure if I can proc Frost. Storm Stomp, Seppuku, Incantations +2. Collect affinity residues to negate affinity. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Huh. Invisibility sorcery. Holy shrouding. Oh, you can get, that's actually kind of interesting. You can get the elemental boost physics at the start, guaranteed. That could honestly be a decent starting item. Like, it's pretty substantial for the bosses. Now granted, I'm still not sure it's... Oh, I got 250. I guess because it was depth 2. Watching my Duchess spam Chilling Mist on the Frostmoon boss. I mean, I could have spammed Frenzied Burst, I guess. I can't remember what status effects you can actually proc on the final boss because I haven't fought him in like months. And sell some of this stuff. Hmm. Oh, you can get damage when sleep is applied? That's interesting. Oh, I have so much stuff to sell, man. Mm-hmm. Different stash of relics for every class. Yeah, that would be interesting. Selling so much crap. Oh, I hate going through all this, dude. It's like... it's so annoying. Alright, come on, give me something good. Priest max FP upon ability. Oh, use... oh, shit! Wait, this is actually a good one for Duchess. Defeating enemies fills the art gauge and the invuln one. That's not bad. They're red. Character skill inflicts blood loss. Oh, shit. Sleep in vicinity improves attack power. I'm not really sure what I want from the new relics, so I'm not really not really selling all of them. Well, that's good. Do I have a better yellow one now? I guess partial HP upon post-damage attacks would be better. This one has no downsides too. It's crazy that, okay, like, if I find it ridiculous that you can get ones that just don't have any negatives, it's like makes it even more RNG. Because like you could get like a god relic, but it could have like absolutely terrible negative effects. Not a bad build though. Yeah, it's I honestly I really like this update. I mean, the runs themselves, it's not like there's new, like the enemies are mainly just tankier and like do more damage, but I like all the different effects. This mode does feel a lot more like a roguelike, where, you know, your build and like the items you get during the run have like way more of an impact. Like you get so many. You get so many effects at one time, it's crazy. I just started today, and I was doing Silk Song at the start of the stream, so I'm still on depth 1, but we're gonna be playing Nightreign like all day tomorrow. So we will probably get to like depth 3 tomorrow, I imagine. I don't know about depth 4 cuz it's it's a lot of games that you got to play. I'm not done streaming. Depth 3 to 4 bumps to 2k points. I think it's 4 to 5. That's 2,000. I was looking at the... Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I was looking at like the guide in the game. HP on Great Church. Yeah, that seems really good. Yeah, we're gonna be switching over to Dying Light. Hold on, let me put my speakers back on as well.